Would the board mind if we begin discussing this? Cindy helps us with the system.
Nice smile. One more.
Next up is Parl Guthrie.
Okay, put my hand on. Thank you. My name is Parl Guthrie, and I wanted to introduce myself and thank the board members for considering my proposal to add the word memorial to Pop Keeney Stadium. I've lived in the Bothell area nearly my entire life. I went through the North Shore school system until 1964, when I graduated from Bothell High School and joined the Marine Corps, along with 2 other classmates. We all went to Vietnam for a year, and fortunately, we all made it back. But 2 of my other classmates did not. Richard Worthington, whose parents and grandparents were prominent citizens in Bothell, was a helicopter pilot in the Army. He was laying a smokescreen in the landing zone in Quoc Trang, Province, South Vietnam, and was killed. His body was never recovered. Chuck Slusher was another classmate of mine. He was the first lieutenant in the Army. He died in a fierce fight in the same area in Vietnam as well. These 2 classmates and more need to be honored. So where would there be a better place to honor these friends and students than in the city that they grew up in and went to school? As you know, Pop Keeney Stadium was named after Harold Pop Keeney, who was Bothell's first football coach in 1920. I would like to think that he would want the stadium to be associated with our fallen students who went through the school system and who may have even played or watched games on the field that was named in his honor. In addition to adding memorial to the name, there also should be an appropriate wall of honor just outside the gate so the public in the area can view it at any time. I have watched many games myself at Pop Keeney Stadium, and most recently with my grandchildren, who are also going through the North Shore school system. My wife and I have kids and grandchildren both who have gone through the North Shore school system. Just be a second here. The school board has the opportunity to do something that will be very much appreciated by the family and friends of our fallen heroes, as well as the entire school district. I'm getting hundreds of very positive comments in the social media, and not one of them was negative. And finally, the world is changing all around us, but it doesn't mean that we can't honor our friends and former students the way they need to be honored. I hope you will seriously consider my proposal and honor our alumni who have given the ultimate sacrifice to our country. Thank you.
Jim Morrison.
Thank you very much. I'm here to speak about the same request for memorial that Paul did, but we get hung up sometimes with memorials with names and statistics, and I thought I'd be a little more personal and tell you a little bit about the 2 people that Paul talked about, but they were personal friends of mine. Chuck Slusser was a 12-year product of the North Shore School District. He lived on Simons Road in Kenmore to a middle-class family with 5 brothers and sisters. When he was in high school, he was a participant in the band, a dynamic drummer in the marching band, the concert band. He played in varsity baseball. After high school, he and I were roommates. He got a full-time job at Boeing, and the money took his interest, and he skipped going to school. Entered the Army, went through basic training in AIT. Later, I was immediately applied for and accepted into OCS, Officer Candidate School. After that, he went to jump school, became the distinguished graduate of his class. After that, he went to Green Beret Special Forces classes, then to jungle warfare classes in Panama, and then to Vietnam, where by the time he got there, he was a very qualified platoon leader and leader of men in combat. He was given the opportunity about halfway through his tour of duty to go back and just have an administrative position, which he chose not to do, and he went back and was killed in action as an aerial observer and command and control helicopter about the 4th or 5th month he was in Vietnam. The other classmate was Rich Worthington. Rich was the grandson of the founder of the Bothell State Bank. His father was a prominent insurance agent, and the licensing agent is still in town today. I just passed it on the way here. Rich went after high school. During high school, he was in wrestling, basketball, football, and he just had a good life. And one of the richer families and more influential families in the community. He went to WSU. He chose again to go to Vietnam instead of finishing his studies. He would have had obviously a very good career in the family business. He chose instead to go to war. He became a helicopter pilot. The thing about Rich is his body was never recovered. The 2 helicopters crashed in midair and they never found his body. I've also had the experience to share the time with their families and seeing the devastation that happens when you don't know really what happened to your son. You always have that hope, and Rich Sr.'s life changed forever in 1970 until he died in 1998. It was never the same. So a memorial that not only serves to honor veterans, it serves to honor the families that they left behind, and it serves to honor the community that they came from. So we again ask for your consideration for this memorial. Thank you.